Good afternoon to you. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade. We're getting to that time of hurricane season where you may start to get a little nervous like me because we're only 1 week away from the peak, historically at least, of our hurricane season, which would be September 10th. That's usually when we have high chance for tropical storms, tropical depressions, and hurricanes. So this is the time of the year where we really start to keep a close eye on these tropical waves developing and to see how far they're going to go. Will we have more tropical storms and hurricanes? You can see by this map that sharp spike right around September 10th for the number of named storms and hurricanes. Of course, hurricane season goes all the way through the end of November, but this is the time where things could get a little crazy on it. So we want to keep you updated on what's happening. It's already been a fairly active season. We've been through 6 named storms, from Tropical Storm Andrea, Barry, Chantal, Dexter, of course, Aaron, which was a monster Category 5 hurricane at one point, and most recently we had Tropical Storm Fernan. Next name on the list, Gabrielle. Will we have a tropical storm or Hurricane Gabrielle by this weekend? Well, the chance is there. We are monitoring a tropical wave in the eastern Atlantic. It's fairly disorganized now. It pushed off that west coast of Africa. It's basically an area of cluster of showers and storms in the eastern Atlantic. It is moving west-northwest, and we've got several days to watch it. Doesn't look like much now, but the models are indicating that it could get its act together by this weekend, and we could have Tropical Storm Gabrielle. Here's the latest. We do have a high potential now for this to become a tropical system. We are tracking this tropical wave in the eastern Atlantic. It could become Tropical Storm Gabrielle by this weekend, but if you are concerned, here in Houston, we do have several days to watch this. It remains very far from Texas. Chance for tropical formation over the next 2 days, medium 40% chance, but the chance over the next week or so, well, that is a much higher chance, around 80%. So we're going to monitor this closely. We do have to see if this can survive that trek across the Atlantic. It looks like it will, but our GFS Futurecast basically showing this getting more organized and more impressive looking by the end of the weekend, Sunday, 3:15 p.m. in the central Atlantic, and then getting close to some of those northeastern Caribbean islands by next week. This will be Wednesday morning. So still, even then, it's days away from potentially getting close to the Gulf. So we got a long time to watch this. If it becomes a concern for us, of course, we will let you know. But it definitely looks like there's a high chance that we will at least get a tropical storm out of this, but still a low chance that it would head in our direction. As far as our Saharan dust, of course, the first few months of the hurricane season, the very thick dust kind of limited tropical development, but of course you see that we've got more breaks in that thick dust indicated by that dark brown, and that will allow the shot for some of these tropical waves to survive a little longer as we go through the next week or so. And of course we are getting close to the peak of hurricane season. All season long we've had very warm water temperatures out there, middle to upper 80s across much of the Gulf, the Caribbean, the Atlantic, so the steamy water is certainly there. So we will be watching things closely, but it does appear that we could have another tropical storm in the Atlantic basin by the end of the week. All right, let's switch over to the Eastern Pacific, because actually our weather may get influenced by a hurricane in the Eastern Pacific. So we've got Hurricane Lorena. Hurricane Lorena is expected to make landfall as a tropical storm Friday on the Baja Peninsula. It is likely going to spread heavy rain and increase the flood threat from Arizona to Texas. And guess what? Tropical moisture from Lorena could increase our rain chances this weekend. So that's why we are keeping a very close watch on what Lorena is doing. You can see it looking very impressive right off of that west coast of the Baja Peninsula, and it likely will be making landfall in just a few days. Right now, we do have tropical storm watches and warnings for parts of that Baja Peninsula, as you can see there, and we are keeping a close eye on this track. 80-mile-per-hour hurricane right now. It's a Category 1, expected to weaken to a tropical storm by Friday as it makes landfall over the central Baja Peninsula, but notice it curves to the northeast, and the remnant moisture from what's left of Lorena likely will start to bring some heavy rain from Arizona to New Mexico to western and central parts of Texas, and maybe even to southeast Texas by this weekend. So you can see Lorena making landfall by Friday, and then there's all of that moisture getting picked up into the southwestern U.S., and we could actually tap into some of that moisture here, and that would spell more heavy downpours, unfortunately, for your weekend plans. I think Sunday will be the biggest shot for rain this weekend, and even into Monday. Notice still waves of heavy rain rolling across the state of Texas, so we're going to have to watch it closely. Bottom line, if you're cruising around the Cabo area, normally this is the forecast where I say it's perfect. But with that hurricane right off of the west coast of the Baja Peninsula, Cabo not looking that great for cruises through the rest of this week. Look for wind and those outer rain bands wreaking havoc.